Welcome back to another video. Today, I've got again Trevor with me and Nat. We're going to give you some quick fire tips to improve your martial arts, whether that's karate, taekwondo, or anything. These tips are going to be fairly generic, so you can apply them to your own martial arts. Let us know which ones you find the most helpful, and in the comments also, let us know some of your tips to add to this. Always train with intention. So make sure that when you are going through the motions of doing techniques, you have a reason for doing them, and in your mind, you're visualizing what that technique is doing. Especially in arts like karate and taekwondo, where you're throwing techniques in the air, don't just chuck out shapes. Have an intention and a feeling and a reason for doing things the way you're doing them.
Make sure you are stretching every day. Flexibility is one of the keys to having good martial arts, so make sure you're consistently putting in the work and opening up those hips.
Create and implement an in-depth warm-up. When I started introducing warm-ups and in-depth warm-ups, it allowed me to prepare my body better for the sessions, and I could also mentally prepare for the session ahead.
Add strength training to your program. Being stronger improves all physical movement. It reduces the risk of injury, it improves speed and power, and it doesn't slow you down.
As well as your training, make sure you have adequate rest. You need a rest day, maybe one per week, because your joints and muscles are going to be sore from all of your training. So it's very important to your improvement that you rest as well.
Track your progress. Multiple ways of doing this. You can record your kicks or your techniques and then reevaluate them in 3 months, 6 months time. You can also ask coaches or senior students or peers for advice and get them to check out your techniques and see if they've got any tips for you to improve.
Question everything. Don't just take what you're being told as the absolute truth all the time. Of course, you should trust your sensei or your coach, but always have a question. Ask why you're doing it. Is this the best way for you? Is there different ways of doing it, different variations? Because different techniques work well for different people and everybody's different. So make sure that we question everything and fully understand the reason for doing certain things rather than blindly following.
Make sure you train your weak side, whether it's punches or kicks. You don't want to have any imbalances in your techniques. So a way we can do this is whenever you do a session, you just do a couple more reps on your weak leg than you do your strong leg. For example, if you do 10 kicks on your right leg, do 12 or 15 on your left leg and do that every time until your weak leg catches up.
Make the most of martial art equipment. Use the heavy bag to improve your power and conditioning. Use hand pads and target pads to improve your accuracy and speed. Then also use kicking shields to improve your power.
As we're doing here today, train with different people, different ideas. Trevor does taekwondo and a few other different things, and I've got experience in a few areas, and that's got different experiences. Get together with like-minded martial artists and learn from each other. No one art is better than the other. They all have something to offer.
Even if you have no equipment, you can still train your martial arts. A few ways we can do this are shadow sparring or bodyweight exercises. There's no excuse for you not to train. Even if you're at home, you haven't got any equipment, you can still get it in.
Stretch with intensity. Don't just sit there for 30 minutes in the splits or in a certain stretch. 10 minutes of stretching, but with focused intention, is better than 30 to 45 minutes of just sitting there aimlessly putting your legs into positions.
Do your homework. The instruction and training you get at the dojo or the gym is for you to then take away and practice at home or in a gym or wherever else you can get. You're not going to get as good as you can be with just 1 hour a week. Take that instruction and that feedback, implement it in your training outside, and come back next week with that corrected or slightly better.
Use the internet. If there's a technique that you're struggling with or you can't get a hang of, then you can always search it up on YouTube or Google. There's always going to be resources online. So use those to your advantage. For example, any of our channels here.
Don't be afraid to regress your kicks if you're struggling with a kick. If you're not quite getting the balance or the understanding of the technique in the air, slow it down or find a wall and use the wall as support, or even sit on the floor and throw the kick from the floor. This will allow you to get the technique a lot more better. So when you come back to practicing it in the air or on a pad, you're going to have a lot more understanding of the kick.
Try to get in regular sparring sessions. It's all very well punching a kick in the air or even hitting pads and stuff, but with a live opponent throwing techniques at you, things change a little. And learning the timing and distancing and how to react to an opponent is important. So make sure you're getting some kind of sparring in on a fairly regular basis.
Work on conditioning your body. So especially if you're doing regular sparring sessions, you need to make sure that the points that you're hitting with are conditioned enough that you can hit without getting injured. For example, your shins, knuckles, make sure you're training to improve the strength of your body as well.
Practice the small details. Improve your foot shapes, your chamber positions. These are going to drastically improve your kicks. If you're side kicking with a flat foot, you're going to get a different outcome to if you're side kicking with a bladed foot. So understand the different foot positions and different chambers and practice them.
Take care of your nutrition as well. Not often spoken about in martial arts, to be honest, but being careful what you're eating and fueling your sessions and recovery after sessions is important. If you're on a big calorie deficit, you're going to struggle with recovery and you're just going to dig yourself into a deeper pit of recovery. And that's when injuries come along. The fastest progress will be made when you have enough fuel in your body to fuel your sessions and feel recovered to hit the next session with full intensity.
Make sure you go subscribe to our online martial arts academy. The first link will be in the description of this video, so go check that out.
Consistency always wins. Showing up, even on the days you don't want to show up, get a little bit done. Because 1 or 2 times a week with intensity, if you're going 4 or 5 times a week, you're always going to get better results through that.
So loads of tips there. Hopefully there's something there that helps you out. Don't forget, drop your tips in the comments below and also let us know which ones you find the most useful. Thanks again to Nat and Trevor for joining me on this video. Check out their channels and check out that Patreon if you're interested as well. And I'll see you next time.